Hector and Maggie by Andrew and Janet McLean. Hector the rooster looked around, puffed himself up and crowed at the top of his voice, "Cock-a-doodle-doo! I'm the boss of the farmyard." He was a handsome sight with his silky feathers, his bright red comb and his magnificent tail. That tail was his pride and joy. Hector hadn't always been the boss. Old Tom the sheepdog used to stand up to him, but now Tom was too tired to care. He slept most of the day. Hector's job was to look after the hens. He was their champion, their protector, and they liked to stay close to him in the yard. All the other animals had to put up with his boasting, but they kept out of his way. The day Maggie arrived to take over from old Tom, things began to change. Maggie was a first-class sheepdog, but she was young and rather shy. As soon as Hector saw Maggie, he strutted boldly up to her. "I'm the boss around here," he crowed. "Everyone knows I'm boss. Cock-a-doodle-doo!" And he hurtled around the farmyard at full speed, frightening the hens, tormenting the geese, scattering the sheep, pestering the pig, picking on the pony, scaring the cat, and even chasing the little girl who was collecting the eggs. Maggie thought Hector was very fierce. The animals took refuge in the woodshed. They were all very grumpy. "He's gone too far," grumbled the pig. "Who does he think he is?" muttered the pony. "He's getting far too bossy," said the cat. "Someone has to stop him." So they called a meeting. "It's up to you, Maggie," said old Tom. "He's showing off because you've arrived. You'll have to challenge him." Me?" whispered Maggie. "You can do it," said Tom. "Just remember how you work the sheep. You can always make them do what you want." Hector came charging up. "I know you're talking about me," he squawked. "Get out of my way." The animals scattered, all except Maggie. She trembled and wanted to run away, but she stood her ground. Hector glared at Maggie. Maggie didn't budge. Hector stepped up to Maggie. "Move, you pipsqueak, let me pass." But Maggie blocked his way, first on one side, then on the other. Hector hesitated, backed away. Then he bolted. They were off. Maggie raced after Hector, snapping at his tail feathers, through the machinery shed. Snap! Into the shearing shed. Snap! Across the yard. Snap, snap! And up onto the tank stand. Snap! With a last desperate leap, Hector flew higher than he had ever done before. The others glared up at him. Hector tried to give one of his loudest crows, but all he could manage was a squeak. "Eek!" "We don't need a boss, Hector," Maggie called out. "We all have our own job to do. You can come down if you promise to stop bullying everyone." "Never!" said Hector. "I'm the boss." Even though they were both tired and hungry, Hector and Maggie were still there after dark. The farmyard was quiet except for the fidgeting and clucking of the hens in the hen house. "Listen to your hens," said Maggie. "They'll never settle down and lay eggs without you to protect them." "I won't give in," snapped Hector. And so they both stayed put. But poor Maggie dozed off. She was very young, and she'd had a long day. Hector seized his chance. He sneaked past Maggie and then crowed a gleeful "Cock-a-doodle-doo!" Maggie jumped and was after him like a shot. Snap, snap! Hector's beautiful tail was gone, except for one last feather. He scuttled into the hen house. That night, Hector's hens laid lots of eggs. From then on, the farmyard was a peaceful place. When Hector's tail grew back, he couldn't help showing off. "Cock-a-doodle-doo!" he crowed. "I'm the boss." But when he saw Maggie, he knew he would never rule the farmyard again.